The strategies that built property wealth over the last 5 years will no longer work in 2026. The market has shifted, and the investors winning right now are playing by a different set of rules, which is why today I'm breaking down the exact 12 rules you need to master this market. Now, the most important rule in 2026 is to know your history. For example, we can see that Melbourne was the #1 performing market in Australia over the 30 years ending in 2022, according to Cotality, going up by over 519%. The second best performing market was then Sydney, doing over 507%, with markets like Brisbane and Perth doing 389 and 324% respectively. Then when we come back and look at the last 18 years, according to H-Tag, Sydney, Melbourne and Brisbane have all done over 200% growth, and during that same time, so has every one of the major regional markets within 100 Ks of those cities. But this is where the data diverges, and this is where your opportunity lies as an investor in 2026. So when we come back and look at the same markets over the last 7 years, it's very, very clear that Brisbane, Goldie, Sunny Coast, Perth and Adelaide have all done over 100% growth, while during the same period, markets like Melbourne, Geelong and Mornington have only done between 25 and 30% growth. Now, speaking of patterns, I think it's really important to understand that once every 7 years or so, something comes along that completely rattles or scares the shit out of the market. Now, in 2026, obviously that's war, interest rates, inflation, and everything else going on around the world right now. In 2020, it was COVID. In 2014, it was the end of the mining boom. In 2008, it was the GFC. And in 2001, it was 9/11 or the dot-com boom and bust. Now, when you start to recognize these patterns, it takes the fear and the anxiety over points in time, like a market like 2026, and starts to give you the power to see the bigger picture and just how well you can do out of times like these when most investors are sitting on the sidelines. Now, one of the things that we struggle the most as with investors is knowing when to move into a market or knowing when to walk away because it's at the top. Now, the data and the science of investing in 2026 tells a very, very clear story of what's going to work next. But unfortunately, like moths to the flame, we as Australian investors just love absolutely taking markets to the top and then over the top. In fact, according to Jeremy Shepherd from DSR's research, markets that do really well in the first 10 years of a 20-year cycle don't do anywhere near as well in the second 10 years, and markets that underperform in the first 10 years overperform in the next 10 years. Now, when we look at the markets that have absolutely cranked in the last 5 to 7 years, the likes of Sunny Coast, Goldie, Brisbane, Perth, Adelaide, versus the markets that have massively underperformed in the same time, Bendigo, Ballarat, Hobart, Melbourne, Geelong, we start to get a very, very accurate historical picture on what could be coming next. Now, when it comes to understanding the rules of investing for 2026, I think the most important thing that the average Australian doesn't understand at the moment is that the Australian government wants property to win. And not only that, it's completely addicted to the taxes that it receives from the Australian property market. Now, one of the most important pieces of information that I ever came across personally was from an article from Homely looking at Australian house prices in Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane and Perth between 1970 through to 2016. So it represented a 46-year data set. And what I learned from analysing and reanalyzing that data set is that markets don't go up in this beautiful straight line. They actually go up more like stairs where they get this pulse and then sit flat and then another pulse again. Now, the advantage that we have as investors that understand data is to know when that pulse is coming based on history. Now, the next rule is actually a little bit brutal, but that is that 99% of investors that I've ever met have absolutely no idea what they're doing when it comes to Australian residential property. And I'm still personally yet to meet a single YouTuber, Instagrammer or someone in the Australian media that was actually financially free before they started talking rubbish about property online. Now, my approach to counteract this personally over the last 5 years is to just turn off the noise. Only follow people that are obsessed with the data, that follow the science of property investing, that are living the lifestyle and share the values that you hold dear today. The market has never been saturated with so much noise, and you'd expect this at the top of a 20-year real estate cycle where so much easy money has come into the market that every man and his dog can make a living out of this stuff right now. But in reality, I'm no longer interested in the micro nuances around property investing and property news that come up on a daily basis through my feed. I'm interested in creating financial freedom and choices for my family 15 years from now, and using the data available in the Australian property market to make the best possible decision for myself and my family in 2026. Now, a rule that's always done right by me is to follow the infrastructure. Now, right now in the next 5 years, there's about $27 billion worth of infrastructure coming into southeast Queensland, along with about the same amount of infrastructure going into Melbourne. Now, the first example is an area on the northern beaches of Brisbane called Redcliffe. And in 2016, they opened a railway line which took people from the beach to the CBD for the first time in Brisbane's 200-year history. Now, what that meant is at that time in 2015, I was buying houses in that area for clients for between 300 and 450K. And within about 3 years of that railway line opening, the same properties had doubled in value. Now, the second example was a massive infrastructure project up here on the Sunshine Coast called the Sunshine Coast University Hospital, which is where the government built a $1.8 billion hospital. Now, when I look at the surrounding suburbs of Batinia or Watala, before the hospital, and this is pre-COVID, before the hospital opened up, you could get into those areas for between 500 and 600K. And just a few short years later, those same properties were worth somewhere between $1 and $1.5 million. Now, the next few rules have never, ever been so important, and that is following historical fundamentals. So I'm talking about buying suburbs with a low vacancy rate below 2%, which means that that suburb is chronically undersupplied from a property rental perspective. Find suburbs with great average household incomes and low percentages of renters. On top of that, it's extremely important to look back at the longer term history, and according to Cotality, over a 30-year study, houses in Australia have outperformed units by over 127%, and the bigger metro markets have outperformed the average regional market by, again, about 125% over that same 30-year period. Now, for the last 5 to 6 years, since the beginning of COVID, I've been personally waiting for another buying window like the one that's just arrived. Now, I know that most people are extremely worried about the current market conditions, but like I said at the start of this video, once every 7 years, we have a window where the market takes a pause or even goes backwards for a small period of time due to some sort of fear. But what these once every 7 or so year opportunities represent is a buy signal. Now, while the likes of SQM or Cotality or CBA Bank out there with their macro perspective are expecting house prices for the remainder of this year to drop somewhere between 3 and 5% in Australia, on the ground right now, as a buyer's agent that is literally buying somewhere between 10 and 20 properties every single month and has been doing across this country for the last 12 years, there is a phenomenal discount for smart investors. Instead of the 35 to 40 people that were rocking up to open homes, we're now talking about 1 or 2 groups. I'm buying properties that literally 8 weeks ago would have been sold for $750K for as low as $620,000 right now. Now, those discounts that I'm seeing on the ground aren't going to express themselves in the data this year, and most people in the media have no idea that they're available. But what we're doing is picking the eyes out of the market and the most undervalued suburbs in the country, and then finding those distressed sellers that have to sell, or those scared sellers, and we're taking advantage of those conditions while they last. Now, from my experience, markets like this generally last anywhere between 3 and about 18 months before we start to see some sort of stability and confidence coming back into Australia. And that's why I think it's so important for you guys to be educated about what's going on right now, to completely disconnect from the noise and to start to really lock into fundamentals so that you can take advantage of this small window of opportunity. So for those of you out there that, like me, like a bargain and love a market like this, I'd love to offer you a one-on-one strategy session. Simply jump over to www.pumpedonproperty.com, click that free strategy session button. We can talk about where you are right now. We can talk about where you'd like to be longer term. I can educate you on the reality of the Australian market based on the data at the moment, and then you can take that information and go and absolutely smash it on your own, or potentially become one of the 2 or 3 clients that I personally work with each week here at Pumped on Property as a buyer's agent. But either way, I truly wish you all the best and all the safety in the current market.